Personality number 3 is a general description of people born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, and 30th of any month. Let's also find out which planet these people were born under. People of the number 3 are under the influence of the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. In ancient Rome, Jupiter was the god of gods. He is the most important god who knows everything about everything and always rules over everyone. And in ancient Greece, he was called Zeus. And in ancient Germanic mythology, he was called Thor. Well, of course, all of this couldn't help but influence our number 3s. They inherited this authoritative nature of the god who knows everything about everyone. People of the number 3 are living encyclopedias, a reservoir of knowledge, gurus, and individuals who possess memories from past lives, which is why they know everything about everyone. It's pointless to argue with them, because for every argument you make, they'll find a counter-argument, and it will just go on endlessly. The greatest debaters are the people of number 3. So if you ever find yourself in an argument with a number 3, it's easiest for you to lose it, because they will win that argument by you losing it. They have a cool mindset and excellent intelligence, and they can work with large amounts of data. In their minds, new schemes and ideas are constantly being born on how to bypass certain restrictions or break certain rules. And of course, all this can tempt them to break the law, because they see how they can get around this law. But they absolutely must not do that. Otherwise, the wave of success and prosperity will leave them. So, dear 3s, despite all your temptations to break the law, please be honest, be fair. Don't break the law, or else you'll be stepping over your own luck. These are free-spirited people, but soft on the inside. On the outside, they may seem like authoritative people who know everything about everyone and love to argue. They have this dominance, a certain kind of leadership, but inside they are very soft people, very sensitive people. These people genuinely want to help everyone. That's why they give advice. But just because of Jupiter, they give their advice in a very authoritative way. And that's why people often turn away from them and no one listens to them or takes their advice seriously. And their advice is very valuable. So if you're facing some difficulty in life and you don't know what to do, reach out to the 3s. Everyone knows about the 3s. And of course, 3s have issues with diplomacy, with feeling, with understanding people, and it naturally follows. The first economic task is to learn to understand people, to learn to figure people out, to learn to understand the psychology of people. Just take the time to learn psychology, figure it out, read some books. Start by listening to people. Don't command them. Don't give them unsolicited advice, but just teach them to listen so that they come to you for advice on their own. Then you'll open up right away. You'll give them your advice and people will thank you for it. And this will be a great achievement for you. You will find great happiness. So of course, the first economic task is to learn to understand people. Learn to understand the psychology of people. To be a diplomat for these people. Jupiter is a very fast-spinning planet, so the 3s have inherited this trait. They want very quick results. They've already thought everything through in their heads. They already have the whole success plan in their heads. You just need to start and do it, but starting and doing it are, of course, completely different things for these people. That's why they often tend to be lazy. They're already in their heads, they've achieved everything in their minds. And that's why this is their laziness. They're already in their heads, they've achieved everything in their mind. And that's what their laziness is all about. They've already thought everything through in their heads. They've already thought it through and figured out where to spend the money in their heads. It has all already happened. So when it comes to actually doing it, definitely becomes they avoid it. And that's often the reason for their laziness. So if dear 3s are being lazy, then of course they achieve nothing. And from this follows the second and crucially important task, which is to see things through to the end. If you start doing something, it's important to see it through to a logical conclusion. If you've come up with an idea in your head, it's important to bring it to life. Don't just keep thinking about it. Don't stay in your head, but actually make it happen so that the idea gives you a concrete result. And don't tell anyone about it until you've started doing something, until you have some result. Don't just keep thinking about it. Don't stay in your head, but actually bring it to life so that the idea gives you a concrete result. And don't tell anyone about it until you've started doing something, until you have some results. Because people who are threes often really love to just talk about their ideas, about some of their new interesting ideas, sharing them with others, even though they haven't taken any action themselves yet. And often after they say it, they are no longer interested in doing it because they have all already spent this energy. So it's important to learn to keep your mouth shut, to stay quiet until you get results. Also, the karmic tasks of these people are to learn patience, because patience and persistence will always grind down any talent, any genius. If you just keep hammering away at one spot with a little force, sooner or later, any wall will fall. So, of course, for dear threes, it's especially important to learn patience, to talk less, and to do more. What will help them better understand people? Understanding psychology will help them. Going through some training will help, and it will also help them to see through someone else's eyes. So, if a situation arises, don't rush to give advice right away. Try to see it from that person's perspective. Imagine, how does he see it? Not how you see it. You really are a genius, smart person, that's true. But you need to come to an agreement with another person who is less brilliant than you. So learn to step into it. Learn to see world through his eyes. And then people will start to understand you. And then you'll start to develop diplomacy. And then people will come to you for advice. And if people come to you for advice, then of course you'll give it to them and you'll feel on top of the world. What else is important for threes? Stop looking for quick results. Threes love quick results. They want it right now and right here. So it's important for them to learn to work in the long term, to have long-term goals, to have short-term goals, and to always be moving towards those goals, to see their tasks through to the end. Work on your ego. Threes also have a big ego. Not as big as the egos of ones, but still smaller. But there is also ego, there is pride, because this is Jupiter. This is Jupiter, the authoritative god who knows everything, the most important god. It's important for them to learn to manage their ego and choose a field, the one that interests them, and become a true professional. Learn, absorb as much knowledge as possible in this field to become an outstanding professional in your chosen area. What else is important for them? They need to become teachers and mentors for others, to pass on this knowledge, so that this knowledge doesn't just become a swamp where you keep piling it up and never share it with anyone. It's important for you to share this knowledge. So for threes, it's important to either start a personal blog online, on social media, and share their knowledge, or to make some videos on YouTube, or at work, or even write some books. It's important for you, you've absorbed knowledge, and it's important for you to give that knowledge back to people. So it's important to develop not just your intellect, but also your spiritual side, because very often threes start to drift away from God, to drift away from spirituality, because they often get caught up in their own heads, in their intellect. So it's important for them, of course, to also develop their spiritual side so that they have harmony, so that there's balance in their lives. So what's important? Constantly learn new things, become a professional, study psychology. It's necessary to learn to set long-term goals, to share the information you've gained with those around you, to manage your ego and pride, and of course, to develop your spirituality. Here are these 6 main ceramic tasks. And about it. If they develop them, positive traits like self-confidence, high intelligence, optimism, generosity, enthusiasm, ease, mobility, and good fortune develop in these people. If they fail to grow, traits like greed, pride, overconfidence, dictatorship, inattentiveness, and impatience develop. All of this develops in these people. If these people don't develop, if they don't tackle their economic tasks, then of course negative traits like greed, pride, a sense of superiority, a desire to argue and prove their own truth, overconfidence, dictatorship, inattentiveness, and impatience will develop in them. Dear threes, develop the positive qualities of your number, tackle your karmic tasks, and you'll succeed. Now let's take a closer look at people born on the third of the month. The third number is the number that has an enormous amount of Jupiter's energy, and they become the best teachers and mentors because they love to learn. They are born for in-depth study of their chosen subject, to become a professional in it, and to teach, to share the knowledge they've gained with those around them. Feel free to choose any area that interests you and learn. And it's important for you to constantly improve your professionalism. Read books, listen to courses, get some additional education. Your path to quick self-realization is sharing knowledge with others. So you will become the greatest teacher, the greatest mentor. So accumulate this knowledge and pass it on. Remember, you'll understand your chosen field faster than others. Don't waste time. Teach others. Share this knowledge with the world. You are born to share this knowledge. Get knowledge, share it, get it, share it. Now let's look at the number 12. The number 12 also adds up to 3, but here we have the number 1, which represents leadership. Second, there is depth and understanding of diplomacy here. This is a very interesting number, a very lucky number that awaits success if it pursues its economic goals. Let's take a closer look. These individuals have the potential to be diplomatic leaders, capable of understanding others and guiding them to results. But all of this will be possible if you put in the effort and start to feel and understand those around you. You need to get a handle on your ego. Focus your attention on helping people, on serving others. Talk less about your plans and do more. Calm your pride, because there's an increased sense of pride from the number 1 plus the number 3. So you need to learn to tame your pride. Don't divide people into right and wrong, because the number 12 really loves to split people up. These ones, I'm friends with them because they're right, and these ones, I'm not friends with them because they're wrong. No need, people are all the same, don't divide them. This is important. The number 21. This is an easily trainable person, someone who has a sensitivity to understanding others, but tends to shift responsibility onto secondary people because there's a 2 in play, a 2 at the forefront, which means there's more lunar energy than fiery energy, unlike the number 12. So it's important for you to learn to manage your doubts, to be a self-sufficient person, to set goals and to achieve them. A good education is essential because if a 21 has a good education, it gives them confidence and reduces their doubts. From birth, you have a gentle energy. You really feel people well and understand their strengths and weaknesses. You need to direct your natural talent for the good of others, avoiding the temptation to manipulate and generously sharing your knowledge. Because 21s are good at understanding people and can manipulate their knowledge about them. So it's important not to fall into this trap. And of course, let's take a look at the number 3. The number 3 also has a 030. There is 3 and there is 0. 0 is of course a reset. And that's why these people often reset their knowledge. So they often live like, oh, I don't know anything. Oh no, I don't remember anything. No, I don't know. Either they live in a way that they reset others' knowledge too. They say, yeah, he doesn't know anything. Here I know everything, but he doesn't know. This is the influence of 0. And it's important to understand this. It's important to keep track of this in your mind and not give in, because it's your economic task. So it creates inner instability for you. It creates inner instability, which of course reflects on your life. You can just throw money away on some trinkets. You buy it, spend it, and then forget what you bought and why you spent the money. It's unclear. Ups and downs often accompany the journey of life. Sometimes you're at the top, sometimes you're at the bottom, then back at the top, and then back down again. And this is all, of course, the action of 0. So it's important to tame your pride, because your pride is quite big. Don't get caught up in fulfilling the ego's demands, like needing to urgently make money or buy an apartment. It's all about the ego, because your main task is to share knowledge with those around you. It's also important to become a professional in your chosen field, to educate yourself and gain new knowledge, and don't erase that knowledge. The karmic task is not to erase the knowledge within yourself, but rather to accumulate it and share it. And also, don't erase knowledge in other people. Understand that people are all different. They can't all be the same. All people are different, and therefore there is no need to judge them. We don't judge, please don't criticize. Therefore, it is also important, of course, to develop positive thinking because zero still pulls us into negativity. It is important to stay positive and not dwell on your failures because you may have them throughout your life. That's all about personality number 3. In the next video, we'll talk about personality number 4.